I'm Dave. Welcome to my shop. I'm Dave Plummer, a retired operating systems engineer from Microsoft, going back to the MS-DOS and Windows 95 days. And today, something entirely different. I just recently got access to the GPT-3, the AI engine from OpenAI, and so I've been playing with it, and it's been blowing my mind. So rather than script an episode explaining to you what it does, I thought I would just take you through it in the editor and in the browser and show it to you, and maybe it'll blow your mind a little bit as it's blowing mine for the first time, because some of this is going to be the first time I've seen it. I've tried a couple things, and I kind of had to stop and say, no, I want to show this off. So here we go. I hope you enjoy it. We'll switch here and write a tagline for an ice cream shop. So that's the kind of suggestion that it will make. But we're not interested in that right now. We're interested in the deeper, more philosophical questions. Like, write a story. Oh, let me increase. How's the length doing here? That looks pretty. That's fine. We'll say, write a story where a unicorn and a monkey fight over whether Linux is better or Windows. Let's find out. Once upon a time, a monkey and a unicorn fought over whether Linux was better or Windows. The monkey argued that Linux was better because it was free and open source. The unicorn argued that Windows was better because it was more user-friendly. They argued back and forth until they finally agreed to ask a computer expert to settle the matter. The computer expert explained that both Windows and Linux have their pros and cons. He said that Linux is more versatile and customizable, but Windows is easier to use. In the end, it depends on what the user needs and prefers. The monkey and unicorn thanked the expert for his advice and agreed to disagree. Let's say, fight a duel. And then we'll see how the story changes. The monkey had always been a Windows fan. He liked the way it looked, and he loved the fact that it was so user-friendly. The unicorn, on the other hand, was a Linux fan. She thought that the operating system was more powerful and efficient. The two of them had been arguing about this for months, and they finally decided to settle the matter once and for all with a duel. They met in a clearing in the forest, and they each took a few steps back from each other. Then they both charged. The monkey leapt onto the unicorn's back, and the unicorn tried to shake him off, but the monkey was clinging on tightly. The unicorn then tried to use her horn to jab the monkey, but he was too quick, and he dodged out of the way. The two of them continued to fight, and neither of them was able to gain an advantage. Finally, they both ran out of energy and collapsed on the ground, exhausted. After a few minutes, they both got up and looked at each other. They both knew they had put up a good fight. In the end, they both agreed that there was no clear winner, and that both operating systems had their own merits. All right, so whether you agree with it or not, it's pretty good at cranking out stories in text. How can it do that? Well, it's read the internet. And by the internet, I mean it's read Wikipedia, it's read all kinds of things. It's apparently at the level of about a 10th grade student is where it can write. Let's see if it can write code like a 10th grader. So we'll say write fast and efficient C code for a prime sieve. Oh, it went to 1 million. I didn't even tell it. We could look through the code and figure out if it works, but why not just actually paste it into Visual Studio Code? And we'll see if it works. Let's make this a comment. So this is straight out of the editor, or straight out of the browser, into the editor. I'm just going to right click and, well, I can't. I can say run though. I can say save it, and then we'll say build it. Does it build? It builds. Does it run? Run test task. Look at this. I'd like to say, oh yeah, I recognize it was just prime, but other than lots of 7s and 1s, hard to say. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's probably working. Let's change the number down to 1,000, and that'll be more manageable. Run build task. Run test task. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Yep. Looks all prime to me. So not bad for just asking something that's basically like, it's not Google, but I mean, it's a search box that you can just ask questions. But what if I said efficient C++ code? No changes. What happens? Did not build. In. Where's in? Oh, that's clever. So it pushes the vector. It keeps track of a vector of ints, and every time it finds a new prime factor at the bottom of the list, it pushes that onto that vector. So I should be able to say cout primes.size. Something like that. There we go. It works quite nicely. So C++ works. What if I want my own bit array? Let's go back and tell it exactly what I want. Write fast and efficient C++ code for a bit array and then use it in a prime sieve. Syncing. There we go. Here's my bit array class. So vector bool is an efficient way to do it because it's got a specialization in most C++ compilers that will pack it as bits and not just, use a byte for every bool. Now, it's not just C and C++ that it can do. I could say write Prolog code for a prime sieve to 1 million. That's why I don't like Prolog. Actually, I thought Prolog was really cool when I was in school, but not something I would want to deal with every day. I guess if you got used to it. But it's hard to read when you're not used to it, as I am not. It's like a recursive has factor function. It starts out with what's true. 2 is prime, 3 is prime, and the prime of p is whether it has an integer factor greater than 3. Something like that. I'll assume it works. What about horrible, horrible Lisp? Not that Lisp is horrible, but it is for doing math. Actually, that's really compact. Pretty fancy, actually. It's got a lambda function here, 0 mod. Wow. So Lisp and Prolog are all well and good, but what about Commodore Basic version 2? Can't go to 1 million, so we'll just say to 1,000. We'll just be friendly. Make it easy. Whoa, dance. Okay, not how I would write it. How about nice clean code? Does that make a difference, you think? I'm going to save that on a clipboard just in case it doesn't come back. Well, there you go. It added a comment to his big line of bleh. Okay, these are actually 2 different lines. Many different lines. Let me format this out a little bit. It is better. Once it's on its own lines, it's much cleaner. No square root available in Commodore Basic, I'm guessing. Otherwise, they would probably use that. Still, impressive that it can write it in Commodore Basic. Got lots of life advice, too. Thanks a lot for joining me. That should give you the rough idea. Leave it a like if you want to see more of this. And either way, subscribe to the channel, because if I do it, then you'll see more of it. See you later.
Do it, Glenn. Do it. Do it.